What if the very prayers you keep repeating are being blocked? Not by the devil, not by the world, but by you. The shocking truth is that many believers secretly stand in the way of their own blessing without realizing it, because God's promises are sure, but your posture determines whether you can receive them, and one of the first ways you block His blessing is through unforgiveness, holding grudges in your heart while expecting Him to pour out mercy. Yet Jesus said plainly in Matthew 6 verse 15 that if you do not forgive others, your Father will not forgive you, which means every time you replay the offense, every time you secretly hope for someone's downfall, you are shutting the very windows of heaven that could have been opened over you. Another hidden way you block God's blessing is through disobedience disguised as delay, because you tell yourself, "I'll obey later," or "I'm waiting for confirmation." But delayed obedience is still disobedience, and James 4 verse 17 warns that if you know the good you ought to do and do not do it, it is sin, and sin is a wall that keeps you from the favor you are praying for. So the opportunity you missed, the peace you lost, may not be Satan stealing it but your own hesitation. A third barrier is misplaced priorities. When you secretly seek His hand more than His heart, chasing provision instead of presence, asking Him to bless your plans without first surrendering them to His will, yet Matthew 6 verse 33 makes it clear that seeking first His kingdom brings everything else in alignment. So when you run after what is temporary, you end up blocking what is eternal, because God will not compete with your idols, whether that idol is money, status, or even your own comfort. Another shocking way you may be blocking blessing is through the words you speak. For Proverbs 18 verse 21 declares that life and death are in the power of the tongue, yet you complain, doubt, and curse your own future with phrases like, "I'll never get out of this," or "Nothing ever works for me," not realizing that your words are canceling the very prayers you lifted. Because you cannot ask God for breakthrough while secretly prophesying defeat over yourself. And perhaps the most subtle blockage of all is unbelief, because you may pray with your mouth while your heart whispers, "It won't happen for me," forgetting that Hebrews 11 verse 6 says without faith it is impossible to please Him, and unbelief is not just a lack of trust but an insult to His character. As if the God who parted seas and raised the dead cannot handle your situation. So He withholds not because He is cruel, but because He will not give blessings to a heart that refuses to believe. So examine yourself honestly. Are you clinging to grudges, postponing obedience, chasing idols, speaking curses, or doubting His power? The danger is that you may live years thinking you are waiting on God when in reality, He has been waiting on you to tear down the walls you built. Do not deceive yourself by thinking blessings are random. They are connected to alignment, and when you finally align your heart with His will, forgive freely, obey immediately, surrender your idols, speak life, and believe His promises, you will see what Psalm 84 verse 11 declares, that He withholds no good thing from those who walk uprightly. The warning is clear. You can either continue blocking His flow or you can remove the barriers and watch the river of His blessing rush into your life. But the choice is yours, and heaven is waiting for your yes.